Hi guys, Tanisha here. So, I wanted to do this really quick video before I head off to the post office because I'm about to mail off my swap project to my partner, and I wanted to make sure I did this video so you all could see what I made for her. You probably, I think I mentioned in one of my other videos that I'm in this group on Facebook called Create, Swap, Repeat, and it's hosted by Any Dunn, who is Doodledaisiesandink on YouTube and also Instagram. And the name of the swap is the pizza box swap. Now we had to create either a 6x6 or an 8x8 mini pizza box, and then we had to decorate it. Anything that we chose, anything that inspired us, and then we had to fill the inside of the box with homemade and or any purchased goodies. So when I saw this swap, I knew I was going to sign up for it, and I knew exactly what my theme was going to be. So I'm going to show you the top of my pizza box. So this is my box. Can you guess what my theme is? Now, I'm going to insert a picture right now of how the box looked before I added all of the like the ephemera and stuff on the top. So I'm going to do that right now. So that was how the box looked before, and my thought process behind that was I wanted it to look like a quilt. So if you haven't guessed, my theme was sewing. So this is all sewing related. Sewing, quilting, anything that has to do with your sewing machine or needle and thread. So the background are hexagons that I cut out with some blue paper that I had and some black textured paper. I think it looks really nice, and I wanted it to look like a quilt, so I left some white gaps in it, so it looked like sort of like the stitching, like if you were to after you finish and you stitch in the ditch, so you would, or not even stitch in the ditch, if you was to stitch around the hexagons, you will see your white thread. So I did that. And then on the sides of my box, I put blue there. So it's blue going around all three sides, but then on the front, I did black. So then on the top of the box, let's talk about what I put on the top. So I wanted to put all things sewing and quilting related. So when you sew and quilt, you have to have a rotary cutter, right? Because you have to have a way to cut your fabric. It's either that or scissors. So I did both. So I drew out my rotary cutter, and it's in what's 5 pieces. So you have the main body piece, you have the black, this bigger black part, this gray that's like the blade, and this black piece, and this little white piece that's like the switch where you flick up the blade. So that's that. And I used an eyelet for the hole in the rotary cutter. And then I drew a pair of scissors. And then, of course, you can't cut your fabric without starch, because you need to starch your fabric first. So you make sure you get all those wrinkles out. And then nothing really gets started without your fabric. So you gotta have fabric. And this is real fabric. I just took some fabric and cut it, and I went to my sewing machine and I stitched the edges. I tucked in the edges and I stitched it down, and I put it in the hanger that I drew, and I tacked it down so it moves. So that's real fabric. Then you have your measuring tape, because measure twice, cut once. I'm sorry, that's the rule. That's sometimes you gotta measure even 3 times before you make that first cut. And then, of course, you need an iron. So you have the iron, then you have the cord that runs around the box and down here. And then, you know, the thing that no one really wants to use, but we all have it if you sew or you quilt, you're a seam ripper. So I drew a seam ripper. So that's everything that's on the front of the box. So now when my swap partner opens her box, this is what she will see. So I drew a sewing machine, and then I went over it with my white gel pen to make it stand out from this black. Just because I drew it with my pencil, and then I just went over it with my white gel pen, and then I stamped a pair of scissors, button, thimble, and some thread, and then I wrote out "Stitch Your Stress Away," and I also went over that with my white gel pen. And then I went to my machine and I stitched along the outer edge of the paper. So she'll see that, and then you come up to here. So now she has a note with a flower stamped on it. It says "For you." Okay, I'll say this for last. So then, when she gets to this, she has this. So this is a rosette. It's layered. So you have the bigger one and you have the smaller one, and then you have the bow. Oh, because I didn't talk about the dress. So when you sew, of course you got to have a finished garment or a finished item, whether it's a quilt or it's a garment. So I did a dress. This is the short version, and I just used some paper that I got from Joann's, and I fanned it out in like ripples to make the bottom portion of the dress, and then I drew out the top part of the dress, and then I traced out, trimmed out the top part of the dress with my white gel pen, and then I stamped out a bow and fussy cut it and stuck it on there because I feel like that finished it off. So now we can go back to talk about this, because that's one of the same bows. It's a bigger bow, but same thing. I stamped it out and I fussy cut it and I stuck it on this, so she can pull this off. So it's like a bag topper, but it's a clip. So I've stuck a clip on that so she can use that in a book or something, or whatever she wants to do. So she has this, and then when she opens this up, so I put this bag together because this bag is from, the bags that they use for Easter baskets and stuff. So I had some of that left. So this is what I used to make the bags, because I didn't have bags big enough, and I just used my iron to crimp down the edges so it'd be sealed. So she has 2 mini rosettes in there. Let me show you this one, because this one is layered, because it has white and blue in there. So my theme is sewing plus is blue. So my two favorite things, sewing and my color blue, my favorite color blue. So this one is layered. It has blue, white, and then with the blue adhesive dot. And then she has another smaller blue rosette. And then with this one, she has a ribbon attached, and it says thanks. Then she has 3 more. So I stuck the paper on these so she can decorate these however she sees fit. And then I left one without it because she might want to add her own kind of paper to it. So I left this one so she can do whatever she wants to it. So she has that. I had a lot of fun putting this box together. You know, you always have fun with stuff that, one, when you're doing something for somebody else, and then 2, then if you add on top of that is something that's important to you, that makes it extra special. So get that back in there, because once I get done with this, it's going straight in the box to be mailed out. So then you put that back on there, and then slide the paper clip back on there, and then so she has that. So and this is an extra dress. This one is bigger than the front. So this is like the children's dress on the front. This is like the mommy dress. So it's like a mommy and me. And she has an extra bow in there. So she has that. And then with this one, I made her 2 memory dex cards. One of them I decorated, the other one I left for her to do. So she has this memory dex card, hello friend, and I use my my thermofoil to foil the top, just a few strips of foil, and I used a little mini rosette. I put 3 die cut buttons, and I drew out these heels because, you know, you can't have a dress without the shoes, right? So I drew out these shoes and I stuck those on. She has that one. And then this one, I embossed these dots on here with my white and my black embossing powder. And then the back is just this silver, is textured paper. So she can decorate this one however she like. So let's get this back in there. And then just to close it off, I stuck, to seal the bag, I just stuck washi tape on the back. Then next I put some, a couple of the pieces so she can do her own rotary cutters. So it's 2 in here so she can make her own rotary cutters. She has everything she needs except for the eyelets. But I figured she might have another way that she wants to do the center of the rotary cutter. So I didn't put that in there. So, but she's all set to make her own rotary cutters. I also put in some extra hangers in here. And it's an extra iron that I drew. So she has these hangers. Then she has the iron. And the, you know, the cord moves. So she has the hanger and the iron. So then she has 2 extra cans of starch. She has another measuring tape, some scissors, 2 seam rippers, and they're the same on both sides, so she can turn them either way, however she decides to use them. And then she has a finished rotary cutter that she can use. So I think my box is about 99.5% handmade, because I think there's only about 3 things in here that I didn't make myself. It was just stuff that I either cut out. Well, yeah, I cut out, or my Gemini cut out, because right at the end when I was finishing this up, that's when I got my Gemini from my sister. So these die cut words, thanks, were cut out with the Gemini. So some of them have adhesive on the back, so she can just peel off the adhesive and stick them down. Let's see, I think this white one is the only one that doesn't. So this one, she can just she has to put glue on that one to use that one. So she has a few different color ones. She has this blue one. She has, this is like a blue too, but it's a paler blue. She has 2 black ones and this one white. And this and I put one of the thanks stickers on the bag. Okay, so she has that. Now these die cuts, these are from, I cut these with my Gemini and using the die cuts that I had got from HSN before I had my Gemini, in preparation for whenever I did get a die cut machine. So, and I got it because it was sewing things. So you had the scissors, you had the dress form, and you have a couple of buttons, a bigger one and a small. So she has 3 dress forms and 3 scissors, and I colored the paper with my blue Bahama ink pad and my cobalt blue, and I used my sponge to blend them to get that look. Now these are stamps. So I stamped them, I colored them, and then I fussy cutted them out. So she has 2 sewing machines, some thread, 2 thimbles, and a button. One of the buttons is down there. Okay. So these are all stamps that I have, that I stamped and then I fussy cut them out. So this and the thanks and the dress forms are the only things that I did not make. These were things that were actually just cut out. So then I decided, I was like, but I need to make her some cards. So I did her 3 different cards, and they all have the flower stamped in different positions, and this is on craft paper, and I made the envelopes out of the craft paper. I probably should have made the envelopes a little bigger because it's kind of snug getting them in and out, and then I stamped the back of them with my homemade stamp. So I hope she can get them out pretty easy because it's kind of tight. So this is the first one, the happy birthday one. And with the background, I did it the same way I did the dress form. I used my sponge, and I just went over my ink pad with my sponge, and then I blended. I went over it, over the paper with the sponge. First I went over it on some paper to get some of the ink off, and then I went over the paper. This was before I stamped the image. But either way, if you do it before or after, because it's so light, it would have faded out, because the colors that you used in the drawing are darker than the ink. So she has a happy birthday card in the envelope, and I sealed it with a glue dot. I have a glue dot on there to keep it closed. The second card is yeah, they kind of tight. I should have made the envelopes bigger. So this one is the thickener. Now this doesn't stay here. I had this there because it's a lot of glitter on them, because I was using my Nouveau glitter pen, and I opened it the wrong way because I wasn't really paying attention. My mind was somewhere else, and when I opened it, it spilt out because I was opening it from the wrong spot. But it was a happy accident because I like how it turned out. So when it spilt, it got all over the card. So I don't know if you can pick up on all the glimmer that's going on all over the card. But I like that. I'm not mad at it. So this is a thinking of you card. So all the cards are blank on the inside. So she can use these to give to someone else. And this is just to cover up the glitter so it doesn't get everywhere. So that's the second one. And then the last one is a Life is Beautiful. And that's purple. That's a light purple. So all of them use the same flower, but different colors and a different stamp. So that's the last card. So that's everything that will fit in the box. So now I have to get ready to send this to her because it has to be shipped out today. Oh, one last thing I have to show you. Because, if you're doing a sewing themed project, it really wouldn't make sense to have a sewing themed box, right? And then you don't have a sewing item in there, right? So that is what this is. So first, this is fabric that I got from my Sew Sampler box that I subscribe to. That is a monthly subscription box, a monthly quilting subscription box, and you get fabric and notions and all of that stuff in there. So this was one of the fabrics that came in a few months ago and the pattern was for a tote bag, but I had fabric left. So I took that fabric and then I used all the sewing notion stamps that I have, and I stamped all over it. This is the first thing I did. I stamped all over it after I cut it to the size that I wanted it to be, which is determined by the item that's in there, but I'm going to tell you what's in there in a second. So you stamp all over it, and then I put it together. I went to my sewing machine and I sewed it together. Now what it is a tissue holder. See? So she can put tissue in there. So there's no raw edges because I sewed that down. So it's folded over so you don't see the raw edge. And then you just fold it over. And she can put this in her bag or purse or whatever, or just keep it in the house with her. So that, because I couldn't do this and not have a sewing project in there. So now we can put the note back in there. So now that's ready to go in the box. So that can go in the box. Let's sit that there. Now, I got a two. Well, before I do that, now if this is a pizza box, right? Who orders a pizza and you don't get a receipt, right? So guess what? I made a receipt. So this is what the receipt. So I found this paper. I knew the receipt needed to be on some lightweight paper, but I didn't have lightweight paper. So when I was at the dollar store, I wasn't looking for this. I was there for something else. But I came across this because this paper is really thin. It's like receipt paper. But it's a notepad. But I'm like, that'll be perfect to make the receipt that I want to make. So that's what I did. I used this and I made up a receipt. So it looks just like a receipt. It even has the receipt number on the top and the bottom. It has the name, the place for the name and the address, and look what I put for her address. This is not her real address, people. But I put Thimble Lane. Thimble Lane. She has her delivery, her order time, her expected delivery time, and the date. Whether it's a delivery or a pickup. What she ordered. So she ordered a mini Notions and Things pizza box. And the cost is $24.95, tax $4.95, delivery $5, which brought her total to a whopping $34.90. And then I used one of those thanks cutouts to stick on the bottom, and I wrote please come again. And that is the pizza box. That is the receipt for the pizza box. And then a couple of extras. I got her a notepad. So that's going to go in there. And a puffy pen. A purple puffy pen. So that's everything for my swap. And I really hope she likes it, because I had so much fun putting this together. And I love everything that I did, and I hope she loves it too. So, to my swap partner, thank you for being my partner, and I really hope you love it. And then I had tons of fun. So I thank you guys for watching, and remember, I will put the link for Annie's for Doodledaisie tutorial for her pizza box in my description box below. And if there's anything that you have seen that you would like me to explain further or to go into more detail about, please let me know in my description box. Well, not the description, but in the comment section below, and I will do my best to make that happen for you. And please, if you so kindly would, like and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit that bell so every time I post a video you will be notified and you can see what I'm up to next. So that's it, guys. So I will see you in the next one, and please remember to take a little time to do something crafty. Bye.